Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to remote learning, boys and girls. This is second week of remote learning. I hope you are all doing well. As I told you, this is second week, and today we are going to start with the second lesson of this second week. Before I start with the second lesson of this week, you people keep your books and stationery items with you along with your all the materials. Then after doing your work, submit it timely in the Google Classroom. So students, today we will see that temperature, which is measured through different scales, who invented those scales. So water always boil at 100 degrees. This is true. But who invented all these scales? So today we will know a little bit about the scientists who invented the scales. Those scientists were Gabriel Daniel Fahrenheit, Andre Celsius, and Lord Kelvin. These were three scientists who discovered and made who invented the thermometer, along with that the scale that these thermometers have. In the Fahrenheit scale, the water boils at 212 degree and it shows the melting of ice at 32 degree. In the same way, in the Celsius scale, it starts with 0 and it is having the last digit of 100 degree. In the beginning, the Andre Celsius, he showed that 0 degree was boiling point and 100 degree was freezing point of ice. But again, it was very strange and weird. So other scientists, they told him that he should reverse, because it is very strange that things are going to boil at 0 and melt at 100. So he made the 0 temperature for melting and 100 degrees centigrade for boiling. So again, 0 was melting of ice and 100 was boiling. Then Lord Kelvin, he invented another temperature scale, and things which were cold, they can be measured with the help of Kelvin scale. In this scale, minus 273 was the temperature at which the things, they are going to be frozen. So on the Kelvin scale, the water freezes at 273 and boils at 373. So it was starting at 273 and it was boiling at 373. 273 was the freezing point of water and its boiling point was 373. Now let's start with our written work today. Students, we will do our work in the skill book today. Open your skill books and open this page number 52. Topic is same that I told you, who invented the temperature scales. Now what do you think that scientists need to invent the temperature scales instead of just deciding things were hot or cold? The answer is, scientists needed to invent the temperature scale to make the investigation more accurate. As you all know that science needs some precise work. So we have to do the work according to calculation and accurately. That is why scientists, they don't only want to show whether the thing is hot or cold, they also wanted to show that it is how accurate it is. So that is how they show the measurement of the hotness or coldness with the help of this temperature scales. So the temperature scales, as we discussed earlier, they show you whether the thing is very hot or cold. So hot things, they have high temperature, and the cold thing, they have low temperature. Now second question is, how did Celsius decide on his scale? Celsius gave value of 100 degree to the melting point of ice and 0 to the boiling point of water. This was his initial decision, but later he changed it. How did he later change? In the beginning, he decided that 0 degree was boiling point of water and 100 degrees centigrade as melting of ice. But later he reversed his own investigation because other scientists they indicated him that this is not a right way to describe the hotness or coldness. Now, fourth question, why did the Kelvin invent the Kelvin scale? Kelvin invented the temperature scale to measure the temperature of very cold objects. I told you that you can measure the temperature of the coldest objects with the help of Kelvin scale. And what is absolute zero? Absolute zero is the temperature at which particles don't move at all and become frozen. Now, what similarity can you see on the temperature and Celsius scale, Kelvin and Celsius scale? Both Kelvin and Celsius scales have difference of 100 degree. 273 is the boiling point, melting point of ice, and 373 is the boiling point of ice. So the difference of the two scales, melting and boiling point, is 100 degrees centigrade in the Kelvin scale, and same is happening with the Celsius scale. There is the melting point of ice at 0 degree and boiling at 100 degree. So again there is a difference of 100 degrees. So both scales are similar in the sense that they both have the difference of 100 degrees Celsius in their temperatures, low and high temperatures. So both Kelvin and Celsius scales, they have difference of 100 degrees centigrade between the hot and frozen objects. Now, how are two scales different? Both of them are different as well. Now, Celsius scales, as I told you, it start with 0, with the freezing point of water and melting point of ice. Now, Kelvin scale has a boiling point of water at 373 degree and freezing point at 273 degree. On the Fahrenheit scale, which is the third scale, boiling point of water is 212 Fahrenheit and freezing point is 32 degree Fahrenheit. So students, we studied scales yesterday and today we have done page number 52 of our skill book. So what you have to do, read the page carefully that is given and that we did yesterday, because it is related with today's work. Once you read that page carefully, then you will understand how are these scales different. Yesterday we did the activity book. So read the activity book page that you have done yesterday. It will help you to understand our today's lesson of page 52 of your skill books in a better way. So shortly, there are 3 scales to measure the temperature as we did yesterday, and then these scales are different from each other, but there is a similarity in two scales, Kelvin and Celsius, that they have the difference of 100 degrees in their temperature count. So we usually use Celsius scale, and this is used to measure the degree of hotness or coldness of the objects. So that is all for today. This is page 52. Complete your page and submit it timely in the Google Classroom. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.